Imagine an ancient city, sprawling and sophisticated, yet utterly unknown to modern history. A city built with technology and knowledge that shouldn't have existed thousands of years ago. What if I told you such a place wasn't just a myth, but a chilling archaeological enigma, hidden beneath the waves, defying every timeline we thought we knew? This isn't Atlantis, a story whispered across millennia. This is real. This is something tangible, something you can dive down and touch, and it challenges everything we believe about the origins of civilization. What secret does this submerged monument hold, and why are we so afraid to confront it? Our story begins in 1986, off the coast of Yonaguni, the westernmost island of the Ryukyu archipelago in Japan. A local diver, Kihachiro Arataki, was searching for new diving spots to observe hammerhead sharks. He swam deeper, exploring the rocky sea floor, when he stumbled upon something that stopped his heart. Not a natural reef, not a strange rock formation, but massive, angular structures, clearly cut, clearly shaped. Terraces, steps, monumental blocks, all arranged with an uncanny precision that spoke of intent. He had discovered something impossible, a gigantic, submerged stone monument, spanning hundreds of feet, rising from the seabed like a forgotten pyramid. It was a structure so grand, so intricate, it seemed to whisper of a lost, advanced civilization. Word spread, and soon, marine geologists, archaeologists, and curious adventurers descended upon Yonaguni. What they found beneath the turquoise waters baffled and divided them. Here was a monolithic sandstone structure, roughly 165 feet long and 65 feet wide, with a height of around 90 feet from the base. It boasted sharply defined ledges, right-angled corners, straight walls, and geometric patterns that looked shockingly man-made. It presented a flat top, with two colossal, intricately carved altars, or pillars, and what appeared to be carved pathways leading up to them. The sheer scale of the monument was breathtaking, but it was the details that truly raised questions. Perfect 90-degree angles, parallel surfaces, and an unnerving regularity that defied the chaotic forces of natural erosion. How could ocean currents and seismic activity carve such precise forms? Skeptics were quick to dismiss it as a purely natural formation, a colossal freak of nature, a grand optical illusion caused by the unique geology of the area. They argued that the constant pounding of ocean waves and the geological movements over tens of thousands of years could miraculously mimic artificial stonework. But this explanation strained credulity for many, especially those who had spent time studying the site up close. The intricate details, the repetitive patterns, the sheer sense of design present across the entire structure suggested something far more deliberate than mere chance. It forced a terrifying question. If this wasn't natural, then who built it? And what did they build it for? The answers, if ever uncovered, would unravel the fabric of human history as we know it. As divers continued to explore the depths around the Yonaguni Monument, the argument for a natural formation began to crumble under the weight of mounting evidence. Dr. Masaaki Kimura, a marine geologist from the University of the Ryukyu, has spent decades studying the site, conducting over 100 dives. His findings are compelling, and for many, irrefutable. He documented terraced steps that ascend symmetrically, perfectly cut passages resembling staircases, and what appears to be a main road circling the monument. He pointed to the existence of triangular openings, meticulously carved holes, and even a large, circular depression that looks like a well or a post hole. These features are not random. They show a consistent pattern, a thoughtful design. Natural erosion simply cannot produce such regular, deliberate forms over such a vast area. Furthermore, Dr. Kimura and his team identified what appear to be carved reliefs and pictograms, unmistakable designs embedded in the stone. There's a distinct carving that looks uncannily like a giant sea turtle, complete with segmented shell patterns. Nearby, another depicts what resembles a large bird, perhaps a condor or an owl. These aren't just eroded shapes. They possess characteristic details and symmetry that strongly suggest artistry, not geological caprice. There are also distinct, straight-edged grooves, multiple feet long, that look exactly like the marks left by primitive stone-cutting tools, not the chaotic gouges of water or tectonic shear. Imagine the force, the precision, the sheer human effort required to carve such shapes into solid bedrock, underwater. What kind of tools would they have possessed? And how were they able to work with such monumental scale and precision? But the mystery deepens. The most unsettling discoveries point not just to construction, but to civilization. Divers have reported finding what appears to be a comfort room, a small enclosed space within the structure with a surprisingly smooth, flat floor and ceiling. Nearby, there are what Dr. Kimura describes as sculpted animals, including a massive, intricately detailed face carved into one of the walls, eerily reminiscent of ancient Mesoamerican art. Perhaps most baffling are the stone tools found in the vicinity. Not natural debris, but large, crude, yet clearly shaped stone implements consistent with early human craftsmanship. These tools challenge the very notion of primitive technology. If they were used to quarry or shape this monument, it implies a level of organization, engineering, and architectural ambition that far surpasses anything we attribute to a pre-Ice Age civilization. The sheer volume of material that would have needed to be removed, the planning, the execution, it speaks of an advanced understanding of geometry and construction methods that we believe only emerged much, much later in human history. To add another layer of intrigue, geologists estimate that the Yonaguni Monument, if man-made, would have been above water during the last ice age, approximately 10,000 to 12,000 years ago. This dating places its potential construction firmly in a period long before traditionally accepted cradles of civilization like Sumer or Egypt. If true, it means a sophisticated stone-working culture existed at a time when mainstream archaeology tells us humans were still largely nomadic hunter-gatherers, armed with simple tools and living in temporary shelters. This isn't just an anomaly, it's a paradigm shift. It forces us to ask, what other civilizations rose and fell, swallowed by rising seas, leaving no trace in our history books? What knowledge was lost, simply because the evidence now lies beneath miles of ocean? Today, the Yonaguni Monument remains fiercely debated. Mainstream archaeological bodies largely resist accepting it as man-made, citing insufficient undeniable proof and adhering to established timelines of human development. To acknowledge its artificial origin would be to rewrite countless textbooks, to dismantle decades, if not centuries, of accepted historical narratives. It would mean confronting the possibility of a forgotten continent, of advanced ancient technologies that we can barely conceive of, and of a human past far more complex and mysterious than we dare to imagine. Is it simply too inconvenient, too unsettling, to accept that our understanding of history is fundamentally incomplete? The Yonaguni Monument stares back at us from the abyss, a silent, monumental challenge.